Good people, what is going on? Another episode of the Humble Podcast. I'm your host, Desmond. Thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Wanted to do a quick video on the Bill Belichick interview on CBS. Obviously, it's been something that has been talked about quite a bit, and wanted to just add a 2 cents to it. So before we get in, please like, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. So the main points of the why I think this CBS interview got so much traction was, number one, just how awkward I think Bill and specifically his girlfriend made the interaction. He is releasing a book and is basically going on a media book tour. So, which is pretty common. You want to get in front of different media outlets, talk about the book, some things about it, so on and so forth. And he was asked in this interview with his girlfriend sitting not far at all from the interview of how him and his girlfriend met. And she jumped in saying that they weren't going to talk about that and, so on and so forth. And have just seen different perspectives on it. My thought is a couple things. Number one, Bill Belichick has always been an extremely private person. I didn't know Bill Belichick got divorced in 2006. Obviously I knew he had a son with Steve that he is, coaches with him or used to, something like that. But he's always been super private. So he's never posted any of his, girlfriends, significant others, etc. And things are different now because he has, there's been some social media posts on those two together, them being out. They had the beach couple photos that were going pretty popular, going viral. And I do understand the perspective of, well, more than likely they probably asked you not to ask about that, so don't ask about it. But on the other side of it, too, you guys, the person sitting in front of Bill interviewing him would not know about this had you guys not posted this stuff on social media. So although you may be a private person, once you put this stuff out in the public light for public consumption and social media, well, we just want to be super private, that kind of goes out the window. And I think for the CBS interviewer, I think there is a part of you that does. It's a very popular thing right now, so I do understand asking about it. And also, too, if you didn't want to be asked about it, why would you have your significant other sitting like 10 feet from you? And I do understand that she is acting as his publicist and his caretaker, which that's a whole nother story as far as the caretaker part of it. But the thing is, and I think where a lot of the criticism comes into play is you can do whatever you want. You're Bill Belichick, football royalty. If you want to have a 24-year-old girlfriend, you can do whatever you want. It's a free country. You can do what you want. If you want to have a 24-year-old publicist, I don't think that's a problem either. You can make an argument that although younger, it's someone who is more plugged in, more in tune with social media and different trends that are going on. So you could very easily make a case that, yes, that is a good idea. The potential problem is when those two positions are the same person and sleeping with your publicist. There's a lot of people that say you shouldn't mix business with pleasure, and that is happening. And I think that's, to me, where most of the criticism is coming from. It's not that your relationship is public, that, to each their own. It's not that you have a younger publicist. It's that, these lines are a little blurry. And then to make things worse, she kind of put out some type of email chain of going back and forth on different strategies, things like that. It was really odd. It was very odd. And it's going viral, and it's not something that is, I would say, not being received well. It's not a huge deal, but it's getting a lot of attention. And then I just saw a story posted, I think either today or yesterday, that Bill is seeking some outside help when it comes to this whole, publicist PR strategy thing with the book, which makes perfect sense and probably should have did this from the beginning. Let her do whatever she wants to do. That your relationship, how you deal with that and do that and whatever. That's all good and fine and dandy. But once you start mixing it together, especially in like an awkward setting like that, it just odd, because the whole I think part of the reason that he asked Bill about it is because you're sitting right there. Had you not been sitting there, maybe he doesn't even ask. But it's like, well, what are you here for? And I didn't even think that question was out of bounds. I mean, I don't even know where they met, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hey, we met at a club. I was out, so on and so forth. Met, thought she was attractive, got her phone number, and we just kind of started talking from there. We met at a gym. We met at the beach. We met at a country club. We met at a golf course. Who cares where you met? Who cares? Like, that could have been a very easily, instead of making it this huge deal, you could have turned that into a benefit where people are like, oh my gosh, I love this couple now. But instead, you make it into this like tensious, interview moment. And it could have been something great. Like, oh, I was working. I saw her at whatever, Starbucks. Who cares? But now it just turns into this weird thing. And I don't know. I didn't think the question was that big of a deal. I thought a good publicist, number one, would have had you prepared for that question. You guys have a 50-year age difference. Of course someone's going to ask how you guys met, especially when you're sitting right there. So you should have just been ready for it. And honestly, make up a story. Make a good PR person. It's not always about the truth sometimes. Sometimes it's just about the story. Oh my gosh, it would have been so cute if you'd have, made up some story and nobody really cares that much. The reason it's getting attention is because of your reaction to it. It wasn't even that serious. So I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think this is a big deal in the grand scheme of North Carolina. My only concern is if I am hiring a first-year head coach, and this is not a legacy head coach of someone who's been here for Bobby Bowden, for example, late Bobby Bowden, right? He had been there for a very long time at Florida State. If I'm hiring a coach and it is his first year at North Carolina, and I do understand Bill, his resume speaks for itself, but I would be concerned if I'm hiring a coach who needs to have a caretaker. That would concern me. That would lead me to believe that you may not be fit for all of the energy that you're going to have to spend doing this job. The coaching is one part of it, and that's one aspect, but you've got fundraising, you've got travel, at least some travel. I know the NIL and those things are a little bit different. I know there's, Dion had mentioned he's not sitting in living rooms of recruits like it used to be. But there's still going to be some travel that you need to do. So that would lead me to that would concern me a little bit, that you need to have a caretaker. And maybe this is, and if she's not truly your caretaker, where, you need care, if it's just something where, no, she's just, I don't know. You should have just called her like maybe an assistant or something like that. That little piece did concern me. PR person, obviously Bill is a high profile celebrity and coach. Definitely need that. Caretaker, that part did concern me just a little bit. So we'll see what happens. It's Bill Belichick. He knows the football in and out. The potential adjustment's going to be just working in the NIL era because it's very new. So we'll see what happens. That is it for me. Appreciate it. Peace.